Hey, it's Evan Kirstel here with a discussion around one of my favorite topics: automation, AI, RPA, and the future of work, among other things, with Alp Arnhem. Alp, you have a lot of different things going on, so I'm really having trouble introducing you here, but maybe you could introduce yourself to our audience, who you are, where are you, and a little bit about your background. Good to see
Of
you.
course. Well, good to see you as well. Thank you for having me in this session. I'm Alp. I've been within the RPA and intelligent automation world for about 6.5 years right now. I've been working closely with UiPath and UiPath product stack, and been lucky to have 3 awards from them as a UiPath MVP. Currently, I am working at Ashling Partners. Ashling Partners is focused on intelligent automation and hyper automation work. What those mean are that we pretty much work with your company to improve processes with automation and other future of work technologies. And my role is within the solutions engineering side. So working closely within the pre-sales, working on deals, as well as understanding some of the um, potential areas to build new products and offerings to help grow. I based in Boston, Massachusetts right now, and then thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here, spending some time. You mentioned you're a veteran in our space, which 6.5 years is like a lifetime in tech. But tell us how you got started with RPA and UiPath in particular, and what was this intriguing to you as a tech professional, 6.5 years ago.
Yeah, of course. So I was into AI side and machine learning, particularly with data science. So I was working before joining into RPA as more of a data scientist, like trying to figure out the sentiment in news and Twitter resources to see how they impact the financial markets. And then I ran into a job posting, and then they sent me a message actually, and I had a chat, and within my first conversations, they told me that look, like this is going to be a new field, and we need some people who understands technology, both automation and AI side of the fence, to help this field grow, and it's an emerging market. So that will be one of the early service providers within the RPA space. They're called Symphony Ventures. So I joined that company as an RPA consultant, and then it was a very generalist type of roles. Right now, there are you would see citizen developers, ML engineers, process mining consultants, so much more specialized roles. But at the time, it was very generalist type of role. Like everyone had to wear many hats because the market was emerging. So I've used UiPath as at one of our client engagements, and I really like the tool, particularly because it worked, and the ecosystem that they brought around the community and knowledge sharing was very, very compelling, particularly because when you are using a new technology and implementing it and working with customers, there are a lot of questions raised. Like, how do you do this? What happens if you get this bugs, or if the application crash? How do you resolve that? And at the time, there were no content out there. So if you typed on Google RPA XYZ issue, you will get zero. So I think UiPath did a great job at creating the first free academy, as well as building the forum, or that was fully accessible and free. It allowed people to get together and quickly exchange information, and then that brought that network effects, I think, within the space. So the knowledge sharing accelerated the growth of the product, but also improve the customer experience. So that is how I started it. I worked mostly in the delivery space. So I built products, I built robots, I visited client sites across the states, and And afterwards, I by working very closely with UiPath, I started to create events and do some content generation out there in the market. So blog posts, doing virtual events, in-person events, and then I got recognized and got the UiPath MVP award. That led to more things later on.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And given the number of developers of UiPath, and it's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, it's pretty impressive. 3 times in a row. So are you now banned from competing for that award because you've won it so much, or to be
Yeah,
nominated?
yeah, maybe they won't let me run again.
But in any case, you also create a lot of educational, insightful comment around your series, Masters of Automation. I was just checking out the website here. Tell us about that, because that's a rather different. You're creating podcasts and long form content. Was that sort of a side project of yours?
Yes, so it's a side project, and what I noticed in the market is that there are a lot of noise and a lot of content, and what I wanted to do is to create a channel where I'm able to bring in the people who are the creators of their fields. So starting from process mining to intelligent automation to RPA technology. So it can be one-stop shop for people who are new to the field or who are already within the field to get very good information. So that's the podcast mission, and I want to hit very different backgrounds of knowledge in the platform. So I didn't want to make it only technical or
Mhm.
only business. So I wanted to have people who are experts of product or experts of marketing, experts of creating the technology. Like my next episode will be with Professor Alst, who basically created process mining space.
Oh, wow.
He's called the godfather of process mining. And I would like to also bring in different perspectives from research side or from investment side, so investors' perspective for future of work. So that's why I try to highlight the creative entrepreneurs and technologists who will, with their investments in time and technology, will create the future of work because those will be the tools that we will use in our daily lives.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like a great forum, built for and by CTOs and architects and engineers for each other. I love the niche, singular focus there. Now, tell us about Ashling Partners, a company I'm just learning about. I think you're based here in Boston.
Yeah, so we are very dominant in North America, but we are a global company. So Ashling Partners is a UiPath's top partner. We are
Oh,
a
wow.
diamond partner, and we received Partner of the Year award as well. And last year's
You
UiPath
guys
Forward.
have so many awards. They must,
Yeah.
yeah, have trophies that you could actually put behind you, maybe. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I hope maybe at some point. So at Ashling Partners, we see the future of work as an ecosystem, right? Like the customers don't only adopt automation, but they also adopt business process improvement and improving the way people work. So sometimes to change a business's performance, you'll be able to just change the process or just orchestrate the work people do differently with low code, no code applications, with testing automation, or different type of platforms, different type of products that the platforms offer. So we are very much focused around helping the organizations to innovate themselves and to stay competitive and progressive. Um,
Great mission. Wow, that's really interesting. And are there particular industries you're finding of adopting RPA, really embracing it more than others, or what do you think?
yeah, I see healthcare adopting it as well as supply chain and logistics. So those are the two areas that I've seen coming up with more demand, particularly I would say supply chain because of the recent issues due to pandemic. happen. So the customers are looking ways to bring more efficiency, improve the delivery times, and increase the throughput time within their organizations. And then an automation can really be a force there, to whether to augment within someone's work to be more accurate, but also help them better um, deal with application systems, because most of them have very legacy applications that are built in 1950s or 60s. So RPA really allows to communicate with that along with other modern systems.
Really, 50s or 60s? That's I
I've
thought
seen
I
that.
was old, but this stuff is older than me. Maybe I need to get out my textbook for COBOL and start, or beefing up my knowledge on how to integrate with UiPath. That's pretty shocking. Have you been traveling much through the pandemic, or is a lot of what you're doing virtually with clients, customers, partners?
I think it's just opening up right now for business travel. I personally have not traveled much for work reasons, so a lot of the things been virtual, which allows more flexibility, right, to host 10 different calls in one day that are in 10 different locations.
Right, we become so hyper productive. It's amazing in high tech. And tell us about a particular event I'm looking forward to this September called Forward 5 from UiPath. I actually haven't been in person, but I'd love to hear your perspective because you've been an active participant over the years. Tell us more. What is Forward 5?
Thank you, and you should definitely make it to this year's event. It
I'm
is
always looking
really.
forward to another trip to Las Vegas. It's like I'm just, you can tell I'm being sarcastic, but no, it looks really intriguing. I would almost overcome my loathing of Las Vegas just to attend. But
So
I digress. Tell us more about Forward 5.
So for UiPath Forward, so it's an UiPath's annual event series. So I started to go, think about Forward 3 first. So it's been so every year except the pandemic year. So what happens is that it's the customers, partners, and employees of UiPath all attend this event. And then there are different series of collaborative action there. There's the community events where you'll be able to interact with other RPA developers or other business executives and exchange ideas on how you're adopting the technology. There are other educational sessions about the customer success stories where some of the customers will take the stage and explain how they started their journey, how they scaled automation programs, and what that brought to their C-suite, as well as improve the customer experiences at the end. In addition to that, there is the technology aspect of it. So every year, UiPath's product is changing. So 3 years ago, there were more core RPA-focused products that are based on automation. And over time, RPA evolved into intelligent automation, and that evolved into hyper automation, what we call as hyper automation, which will include things of process intelligence with process mining, task mining. It will include artificial intelligence technologies that UiPath is building, and obviously continuously improving the core product. And I'm personally excited about hearing more about the low code, no code space that UiPath is tapping into. So they launched this new product called the UiPath Apps that allows you to in a drag and drop fashion build applications for enterprises. So maybe it's a good opportunity to replace that an application that's built in 1950s.
Right, absolutely. Even I could do it. Maybe who knows? And I think uh, maybe you'll be even on stage coding. Maybe will we see that? I know that's always fun. Live, doing a live demos.
Could be exciting. I did last year. I think 20 features in 20 minutes
Oh, wow.
with Break the Bar. So we went into 20 minutes, one feature, and showcased that. Tell you what are the news that the iPad have, and I wanted to add one more thing about this event that helped my career 3 years ago is that right, like the ecosystem grew so much right now that there are people who are product managers, solutions engineers, just business executives, or someone who's a financial controller just adopting automation. And this event is a great opportunity to sit together with them and exchange knowledge. So it's a great way to expand network, but at the same time learn from other people's experiences, which I think end up being the core of the RPA community.
Yeah, that is exciting. I know so many people. I call them young people. You're younger than I am, who've built their careers on these new technology building blocks and have thrived in this new world of RPA and the UiPath community. So, yeah, congratulations. I'd encourage everyone to get involved and attend either in person or virtually. So, yeah, thanks so much for chatting. Really good to meet you. We're both in Boston, so I'm sure we can grab a coffee
Yeah, I
sometime
love that.
and catch up then.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for having me in this session as well. It's been a pleasure to speak with you.
Likewise. Take care, Al.